Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm Amanda, founder of Inspiring Inkin. Welcome to my craft room. In today's video we're going to be making this card. It's a Zig Zag Gatefold card and opens like this. It's a great way of using your double-sided pattern paper because you get to see both sides. So let's turn the camera around and get crafting. So here is one of the cards I'm calling my Zig Zag Gatefold card. It's a style of card that actually has been around for ages. And I've never really known what to call it, but that's what I'm going with currently. So it actually folds out like this. And the reason I love this card so much is you get to see both sides of the patterned paper. Of course, you can do this with cardstock if you want to, but I'm on a mission to start using some of my paper. So this is a really cool way of doing that. Now, the paper that I am using is from the Parisian Blooms product suite in the Spring Summer Mini. So I'm just going to show you the papers because they are stunning. You've got foiling on them, which is champagne in colour. So there's foiling on one side and then the other side doesn't have the foiling on. So you've got these lovely Eiffel Towers. This is kind of my favourite. It's really difficult to kind of see on camera, but hopefully that will pick up. You've got the keys and the fleur-de-lis. And then sort of travel images. And those, so these two don't have foiling on them, but the other four do. And then this lovely one which has got writing on, and then these lovely flowers. And that's obviously the one that I've used here. I am going to use this one for today's project. So you're going to start out with a piece of paper that is 12 inches by 6. And I'm going to get my scoreboard in, and you are going to score it, and I've got all my measurements here. Now don't worry if you don't catch the measurements as we go. All of the measurements will be either on my blog or on YouTube. Just scroll down and you'll be able to see them. I do that on all my projects so that you've got an easy reference for all of the measurements. So you are going to score at 2 inches, 4 inches, 8 inches and 10 inches. So these are the pieces that are going to make the gatefold. So it's actually, if I just squash this bit, just gently, you'll be able to see. So folds that way and then it folds back on itself. So that's kind of how it's going to work. But as you can see, we've got this diagonal cut lines, and there are 2 cut lines. This point here is at 4 inches. So we need to mark this. Now you can do it with a pen, but what I tend to do is just do it with my ball tool. So I'm using this as the top. So I'm just making a little dint there at 4 inches. And I'm going to flip the whole thing over and do it again at 4 inches on this side. So that the points are there and there. So they're in exactly the right space. Okay, so the scoreboard's finished with now. And I'm going to use the trimmer. Now I'm going to have to get quite close up with this, so I'm going to hope that the camera's going to pick this up. So what you're going to do is you're scoring, let's turn it this way. So you're scoring from the centerpiece, so this is your card main section. So you're cutting from here to your 4-inch point, and then from your 4-inch point to the first score line here. Okay, so let's move the score blade out of the way. So what you're going to do first is get the score line lined up with the track, and then find your little dint where your 4-inch mark is and line that up with the track as well. and then you're just going to cut. You're then going to go from the 4-inch line to this first score line, so not all the way back here, just this first score line. So you're going to line it up like so and cut. Okay, so you've got a triangle here, and then you've got a rectangle with a diagonal cut mark. Okay, so that's your first one. So we're going to do exactly the same on this one. So I'm going to cut from where that little dint is to the first score line there. Ooh. And just make sure that it's lined up. It's better just to take a little bit of time at this point. Don't cut your card wrong. And then again from that first score line to that point. Just move that up. Okay. So there we have the basic card. So what I'm going to do is just have a look at the flowers here. And I think what I'm going to do, I've got some more paper here. What I want to do is cut out 3 flowers. For the decoration at the front. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Then I've got a tiny bit of stamping and assembling, but then pretty much the card's finished. It will fit. Whilst I'm just cutting out, I'll just explain a couple of things. It will fit in a standard envelope. Basically, the main measurement on the inside will be 4 inches by 6. So it will fit easily in a standard envelope. And now I can't talk because I'm cutting. I'm concentrating on cutting. Obviously, you can do stamped images and all sorts of things. I haven't actually put a sentiment on this card. So I will put a sentiment on it when I decide where it's going. Okay, so that's part of the decoration. So I've got some circles here. So that's 2 1/4 inch circle and a 2-inch circle. So this is champagne. Champagne foil. Ooh. And this is petal pink. Now this layer is actually going to go here, and I've been showing this quite a lot on my blog just recently. It's called gutting, and basically what you're doing is you're taking out some of the cardstock from a layer. You're not going to see it. Nobody's going to know that it's there. So yeah, so that's a good way of being more frugal with your cardstock. So I'm just going to use this Forever Blossoms stamp set. Actually, I was going to use, on this card I've actually used the flowers all the way along, but I'm not. I'm going to use a smaller flower at the bottom. I've got my Pool Party ink. So I'm just going to stamp the flower 3 times at the bottom. What you don't want to do if you're stamping or putting any greetings or anything on this is you don't want to put anything in the top sort of half really, because you might be able to see it. So keep the decoration low down or right close to the sides like I've done here. Okay, so I think all we need to do is assemble it now. Super quick card. So let's get some Tombow on. So that's going to go on there. So the petal pink layer is 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then the whisper white layer is 3 1/2 by 5 1/2, and that just gives you a 1/4 inch border all the way around. So let's just line that up like that. I'm sure I brought my bone folder in. Yeah. I'm just going to reinforce these score lines. Now this, obviously, this is patterned paper. Just be careful when you're reinforcing score lines. Don't be too vicious with it. Most patterned paper has a white core, and what you don't want to do is to tear it. So you don't want to make the top layer crack, so that then you can see the white showing through. So let's just layer up this piece. And then, which way around? I'm going to put that one down flat. So I'm going to put the bigger flower flat and kind of hanging over a little bit. And then find my dimensionals. I'll put some dimensionals on there. My scissors. Now, do make sure with your dimensionals you're using all these little edge bits. It's really important that you use all the bits. Okay, so I'm going to pop that over there like that, and then put your flower circles just on one side of the card. Obviously if you put glue on both sides, you're going to stick the card down. You don't want to do that. It'll make you sad. I have done it, so I am speaking from experience. Just, you know, getting really excited and thinking, oh yes, I'll just glue that down, and then realising that actually what you've done is put glue way too far over. It's not good. Right, okay. What a speedy project, and what a fabulous way of using all that beautiful paper that you have stored away. Because I know, because I have the same, I have lots of paper that I think is too pretty to cut, so I am on a mission to get some of it used. So there are a couple of variations. Thank you so much for joining me today for today's Zig Zag Gatefold card. As I said before, all of the measurements you can find if you scroll down, whether you're on YouTube or on my blog. All of the products that I've used are available for purchase in my online store. So there are links below, direct links. Click on the picture or the name and it will take you to my online store. But you can also find some creative inspiration over at my blog, which is www.inspiringinkin.com. Please do subscribe there and on my YouTube channel. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.